welcome back to Smashing Heads Podcast. This is going to be our recap for Double Agents Episode 7. As always, my name is Zach, and I'm joined by my wife, Hannah.
Hey, what's up?
My best friend, Jake.
How's everybody doing tonight? I just had Chick-fil-A for about the first time in a year. It satisfied me. Shameless plug.
Okay.
Eat more chicken. Am I right?
Yeah. You were always a big fan of their advertising because it was a cow.
Cows. Yeah.
Yeah.
Cows.
You love cows.
I love cows.
You know what cows say?
Eat more chicken.
Heidi, y'all.
Hi, y'all.
Are you calling me a cow?
Oh, no. No,
yeah,
we're
see,
not.
he knows. No.
You assume the worst of us, Han. It's actually real shameful.
It is. That's the biggest shame we all collectively share. So if you're new here, we're going to get into Episode 7 of Double Agents, but right off the bat, I want to do a couple of things. One, if you don't follow us on social media, go ahead and do that, at Smashing Heads on Twitter, at Smashing Heads Podcast on Instagram and Facebook, and the best way to follow along with everything we do is at Patreon, patreon.com/smashingheadspodcast. We do Patreon exclusive podcasts on there that don't go anywhere else. I had a couple of our patrons in our Slack group, which is on one of our tiers, the Bloodlines tier. They want us to do a one-off pod about the Inferno 2, which is on Netflix. It's a one season. It's like 22-minute episodes. There's like 16 episodes, and so I think we might do something like that, even if you guys may not want to. But some of our patrons volunteered to jump in and just do knock it out 2 hours or less, do the whole season, and we'll see, because I don't know how long that's going to be up on Netflix, and I haven't watched it since it aired. Like, it's been that probably came out like 2004, something like that.
Been a while. Been a long time.
Yeah.
Zach.
You started talking, and then I don't know what she did, but then you just stopped.
It sounded like she burped.
Well, I was going to say which season was that like? I don't know if I've seen that one.
You have not seen this one.
Okay.
For sure, because I haven't seen it since it aired.
This is when dailies were more like carnival games.
They literally, like, if you hover over it on Netflix, like, one of the dailies is they're standing on, like, floating platforms and they're playing dodgeball. Yeah. And, like, that's the daily.
Let's be honest, you can't go wrong with dodgeball, man.
Yeah, I mean,
that's right.
It was good.
If there was a dodgeball league in the city we're in,
I'd be in it.
Oh yeah, a team of 3 right here.
Yeah.
It'd be fun.
Yeah,
I'd play it. Yeah, it's I was gonna say, speaking of like old school things, we have got a lot of casting news about the We Want OGs thing. People are quarantining currently for that new season.
I don't know anything.
Yeah, I know you don't.
I like being like that. I don't want to know the cast until...
I'm not going to say it here because it's subject to change and all that.
Yeah.
But I will say, like, it's going to be good. I hope, just based on a lot of the names I've seen. I will say, though, some of the names I honestly don't even remember, because it was like one-offs, maybe like old school people, like before I started watching the challenge, back when it was Real World versus Road Rules, and like it's not the era we started was like early 2000s, and this was, I don't even know some of these people's names, but in our Slack group they're real pumped about it, the people that remember them. So that seems to be underway. I'm hoping they film it and get it out, and then maybe we could watch this before a new season comes out.
Watch the Inferno season.
You're not following. Watch the We Want OGs while the actual challenge, season 37, would be filming. Because again, I don't know how long it's going to take to get that out, and I don't know how long it's going to be until we get another challenge season. Because again, they're having to quarantine and all that type of stuff, and I haven't heard any rumors as far as casting or filming for the next season. So we still got a lot left of this one. I mean, what do we say at the top? It's like, they said there's like 16, 17 episodes, something like that.
Yeah, TJ made a comment this week that half the skulls have been given out.
But that doesn't mean that
I agree.
We're halfway through the season.
I agree with you. I just wanted to make that point.
We're probably close, though, because this was episode 7. And so, you might have 14 would end like the competition, and then you have a final for the last 2 episodes or something like that. So that's not out of the realm of possibilities. But it is interesting to see who's going to get the rest of these skulls. And I mean, I think when we get to the elimination for this week, I mean, as soon as we all saw it, I think we all knew what was going to happen. Just from this was tailor-made for Leroy. But before we get to that, let's jump into the start of the episode.
Yeah, let's go.
And this episode starts, and basically everyone in the house is mad at Jeyyy and Teresa. That's going to be a prevalent theme throughout this whole episode. I know a lot of people in our Slack group were really excited that Teresa's getting like a villain edit. And I personally don't remember her being like a villain in the past. She was just kind of like a middle-of-the-road competitor.
But she would get into a lot of, from the seasons that I've seen her on, she would get into a lot of arguments and drama with other castmates.
90% of it seemed to be with Nani. Yeah, that's the thing.
Because Nani,
I don't count that against you.
Yeah, Nani can argue and fight with anybody. Honestly, she would, if she walked it up to us in a Walmart, she'd find a reason to be pissed off at Zach about something.
I think anybody could do that.
I'm like, honestly, this is a very subdued Nani season so far.
I'm okay with it.
Yeah.
I think it's good for her.
But everyone against mad at Teresa. People are starting to go at Jeyyy, and Teresa just kind of walks in the room and says, "It wasn't Jay's call. Like, this was my move. This was my decision. So be mad at me."
I mean, good for Teresa being a solid partner, and like I think she could see that it was really taking a toll on Jeyyy being the quote unquote bad guy for the day or a couple days.
It was that night. It was the night of the elimination.
Yeah, it was, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Regardless, I think that's hard for Jeyyy. That's a hard position for him to be in. And Teresa, I think she just doesn't care. And so for her to be like, hey, don't point the finger at him, point it at me. It's all me. I'll take all the blame. Everybody lash out at me. Leave Jeyyy alone. I think that's a good quality to have in a partner. So, I mean, like, good on her for jumping in to save him.
Yeah, but ultimately, like, real dumb of Jeyyy to just basically let Teresa do whatever she wanted with.
I think he literally said that. He's like, I do whatever you want.
Yeah, it's
like,
just bad.
Well, and we'll see later on. Like, that's going to come back to get him.
It already started to, because Kyle came at him right before Teresa came in, and he was like, it was a swing and a miss. And your friendship means nothing by taking a gamble on us.
Well, it's not even that. Like, Kyle, who cares? Kyle can be mad at whoever, and he's going to lie to everyone in the house. But, like, in that same, like, breath, like, Leroy, he didn't care what Teresa said. Like, she left, and then he's like, we're coming after you. Like, it's over. Like, it's just going to be my mission to take you out because you sent Cam in.
Yeah, we have to take these little, like, altercations like this where Kyle supposedly hates Jeyyy now and doesn't have a friendship with him with a grain of salt, because we see, like, after these episodes on Instagram, you know, Jeyyy could throw up some sort of picture about his time on this season, and Kyle's like, love you, bro, can't wait tonight, or something like that. It's like, dude, they're still friends, man.
Okay, I saw Fessy put up a picture of Kyle last night after the episode aired, and somebody actually commented on there, and they were like, how much of the show is real and how much is fabricated to just add drama for entertainment? And somebody replied, and they were like, you have to realize this happened months ago. So when they post the pictures like today or yesterday, it's probably water under the bridge. Like, they've had plenty of time to mend relationships.
Well, and also, like, you're like head in the heat of the moment when something's going on. It's completely different, like, you know, removed out of the house, and you're back to your normal life, kind of.
Yeah, and I also think that production wants the cast members to interact with each other a lot on social media.
It helps drive everything.
Yeah.
One thing I will say, I don't know if either of you guys have seen, but one of our followers on Instagram, that Nicole, she sends us messages on there every so often. She made me aware of Jay's TikTok, and it is
Jeyyy has a TikTok?
It is rough. It's TikTok comedy.
Oh no!
And it's like him lip syncing and like just making weird faces and like it.
Oh no!
I was like, oh, this is really bad. And she was like, I like him on the show. She's like, but I can't follow him. He posts a lot of them on Instagram now, and
oh my goodness,
it's bad. So thank you, and I hate that you showed it to me. But I think it's something we all should be aware of. We all should deal with it collectively.
I'm gonna see what he's got posted on his Instagram because I don't have TikTok.
I don't either. He's just, they have the TikTok watermark
Yeah.
still. He's just posting them on Instagram.
Where do you guys stand? Let me ask you this: where do you guys stand on? Because at one point, Teresa made the comment in her confessional that was directed toward Leroy and Cam. She said, "Get over it. Be happy. You got your skull."
To an extent, I agree.
Yeah, I
Like,
agree.
I actually fully agree. I found myself really annoyed that, and I really like Leroy. I found myself like really annoyed watching that. Just like, dude, like, stop.
So
Cool out.
I agree with Teresa because at the end of the day, like, even though she hasn't done these in a while, like, she's done enough of them to know that, like, it's a game. Like, you're going to make people mad. You're going to lie. Like, CT, it was either this week or last week at one point, he was like, oh, somebody lied to someone else. Oh, no. Like, It happens every season. Like, the people who get upset about it all the time. And I will say, just to reiterate, like, from our Slack group, like, a lot of people who were, like, really big fans of Cam in the past have been like, she's kind of annoying this season in her confessionals. And, like, I'm not going to go that far, but I get it. I get why people think she's annoying this season.
It's a very entitled season from her.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I'm a fan of Cam.
But you haven't listened to the Cam interview
I
that we
like
did.
Cam. I have Cam on my fantasy team, but there are points in maybe not every episode, but at least most of the episodes we've seen so far where there is a little bit of the haughtiness that I think a lot of people are disliking.
Well, and she's always been very confident, but I think it's just been, it feels different this season.
It is different this season.
And so, it may be like her and Leroy. They know this is Leroy's last chance, so you're trying to, like,
do everything you can.
Yeah, because again, one of our patrons said, take it with a grain of salt that this is Leroy's last season because, challenge retirements are about as have the longevity of, like, pro wrestling retirements.
That's a good. I was about to say, Zach. I was wondering if you were going to make that correlation.
I didn't make it. JD made it in our Slack group. And,
no, it's a solid one. I was just watching Sting promos before we started, and he's like 60 years old. He's retired like 3 or 4 times.
He ain't got no business wrestling at 60 years old.
There's some older than him.
Hey, he looks good though. He looks good.
So yeah. That's the thing, like, Leroy, I get why he's playing with an edge, and he doesn't care, and he doesn't care who he has to, like, cut off or whatever, because he knows this last time. I don't think this is Cam's last time. Even if Leroy's done, I feel like Cam's going to do more.
She's got plenty of time.
So, CT and Teresa are talking at breakfast, like, the next day, and then the subject gets on Darrell, and, CT just says, like, yeah, he won every final he's ever been to. I don't necessarily want to go against him in a final.
Yeah, if you look at those statistics, that's not somebody that you want to be directly competing against.
Hey, but shout out to Darrell for the camera time this week. It's like
him and Amber B got more camera time this episode than they have the entire season.
Exactly. Like, we talked last week about how we keep kind of forgetting that Darrell's here.
Fantasy points were actually allotted to him this week.
Oh, there we go.
Oh, good. He's number one on your team, Jay.
Yeah, it's a terrible number 1 pick if we're being honest.
Well, if he wins the whole thing, again,
sure. But to this point, it's been
it's not been good.
How many points? Yeah. How many times has he gotten some sort of points, positive or negative?
Oh, hold on, I can tell you. No, hold on.
It's I would say under 10.
None last week. He got -5 the week before. None the week before that.
5.
He got 5, so he's at a net 0 so far.
So that's 2.
That was week 2.
And he had 15 week 2. No, he had 15 week 1.
But how many?
He had 15 week 1.
Yeah, how many times were points allotted to him though?
Total?
How many times? Yeah, whether it was 10 or 5 or negative.
You gave him 3 5-pointers in week 1, and then a -5 in another week, and then a +5 in another week. That's it.
5 times this whole season so far he has gotten any sort of action in fantasy.
He's averaging less than 1 a week.
It's ridiculous.
Compared to my number 1 pick, which is Fessy.
Well, and mine was CT. And so,
it's ridiculous.
Yeah. That's not been great, but I get, like, I think we've talked about Darrell before. Like, he won his first 4, but his record since then has not been as good. But I think he still is a guy that if you're knowledgeable, like, you don't want to go against Darrell because he's still in incredible shape and he can, compete with anyone out there. And so that kind of leads to a little subplot, which will come up later. But Devin, at this point, decides he wants to take out Big Brother. It makes sense. He's yelled, I don't know how many times Big Brother sucks.
He said he'll never trust anybody from Big Brother.
I don't blame him. He also says their whole show is based on lying, which I haven't watched it, so I don't know.
Fessy decides he wants to have a heart-to-heart with Corey.
Oh, I have that, and I was like, this is the first time this season that I felt like this was very much set up by production, where they're like, hey, can you guys go sit out by the fire and talk to each other, and we'll let us film it from like 5 different angles?
Yeah, it felt weird. I didn't like it.
There's even weird terminology used. Fessy at one point said, I've been misunderstood as a human.
Yeah, it's very much like, hey,
it was super weird.
It was like, do you feel like you want to talk about how misunderstood you are because that's why you guys aren't vibing right now, and we'll just like be really far away and film it? But I was like, this is 100% set up.
Yeah, I didn't like it. And then Corey says in a confessional afterwards that he's having a hard time fully believing him, but that they're making steps in the right direction. And
again,
I was like,
this is the first time in a while that I maybe since like Final Reckoning where I was like, this feels forced. So we get to the daily. They're out on the beach. It looks like it's a water challenge, obviously. And then helicopter comes flying in, and it basically a helicopter hooks up to like this big cargo net full of like rubber balls of some sort. I don't really know what it was in there. And
rubber balls.
Rubber balls. And it's gonna be like King of the Hill, where the last person that can stay on wins, and whoever can get the other people off in the fastest time, you and your partner, it averages the time out and whatever. Not that exciting of a daily because
it could have been though.
It could have been.
It really could have been.
It should have been.
And
so,
just jumping ahead, like I am totally on the side of TJ.
Oh yeah, 100%.
Yes.
Just not even playing the game.
Exactly.
Hey, we had a first with fantasy points, and we'll get to that later. But
okay.
I think it's totally justified.
Okay, that's fine.
What was it? The first heat was
it's a girls' heat.
Girls' heat, and that's how the rest of them should have gone.
Yeah, Casey won, and like they were fighting with each other, but like at the same time, like they still were kind of like playful with it. Like they weren't like trying to kill each other, but. Casey wins. It came down to like her and Nani, but it wasn't because Nani was doing well. Nani just kind of like hid up around the other side and no one saw her. And so Casey wins. And then the second heat, guys' heat, everyone DQ'd. Nobody moved. I don't remember if Nam was on this one or if he was on the fourth one, but he was
Nam was on the first one, and he said, because Darrell was saying how he is not even interested in fighting anybody because he's just holding on for dear life. And then Nam said he didn't want to be the one to start any fights because it would put a target on himself.
Yeah, again, like, I get it kind of from Nam's perspective because he's like, oh, all these vets aren't doing it, and I'm a rookie. I don't know what I'm doing. But yeah, it's boring. Like, it's really boring when nothing happens. And so then the third heat comes, Teresa wins, and before the third heat even starts, I guess she like tried to make some deals with some of the rookies, and that's going to set off a whole chain reaction of stuff with Darrell and Amber B and all this other stuff. But she does win that one. She knocks Amber B off. And then the fourth heat, everyone DQs except Michi's. He fell off. He's the only guy that fell off.
He almost didn't even make it on.
Yeah, it almost took off without him. And then he falls off pretty quick, and then they all DQ. Like, no one moves. Like, it's not fun.
Jeyyy and Leroy.
Oh, that's right. That's
actually,
I forgot Jeyyy did.
Jeyyy, like, crawled on Leroy's back or something.
Kind of like a spider monkey.
Yeah, but everybody else just kind of watched.
Yeah. And I think TJ like gave them 2 props because at least they were fighting with each other, even though neither one of them fell. And so it basically came down to Jeyyy and Teresa because Teresa won her heat, and then Leroy and Casey because Casey won hers. And Casey won by 1 second, essentially. And Teresa is mad now at Amber B for not jumping off sooner or whatever. And it's like...
What is it the kids say? Weird flex? Is that a flex?
I don't know if that's a flex.
Is that the right way to use that? Han, you're young and
I don't
hip.
think so.
I don't think so. Weird flex would be like, oh, I held on longer than you. And you're like,
okay.
Weird flex. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So, what's okay.
He's really struggling with this.
His brain short-circuited.
What?
Yep.
Okay, I think I got it.
All right. So she's mad at that, and at this point, I'd already written. I was like, "This is a very Amber B centric episode,"
Which is nice because we haven't really seen a lot of her.
No. Shout out, apparently from Tennessee,
Knoxville.
Yeah, Knoxville.
That's
area.
my hometown.
Here we go with them mountains.
Debatable.
I was leaving it at that.
Before we get into the Bubble Club, let's take a quick break. All right, we are back, and everyone gets back from the daily. Tears for Fears starts playing, which I'm always on board with because I love Tears for Fears. And they go into the Bubble Club, which I don't know if anyone else has said that, but I think that's the trademark that we use for it. And
Hey, you know what? Them's the facts.
I haven't said that in a long time.
And I don't know why. I don't know why is that.
Because if you don't know what that is, I don't know, like a year ago, I decided I was going to have a catchphrase, but it didn't have any relevance. Like it didn't like come up naturally. I was like, oh, this is going to be my catchphrase. And then I said it for like 6 episodes, and then I will randomly do it like once every 2 or 3 months. But it still has legs.
Yeah, Han and I have ours. I've got the opening and the closing, right?
And Hannah says, Heidi, y'all.
Heidi, y'all. And if it's not that,
Stop.
if it's not that, it's Women's Gift to the Earth.
Yeah, which is, man, that's like our 5th or 6th episode ever.
Yeah.
That was about Joss.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was kind of high on prescription medication
NyQuil,
when I said it.
And
No, I was on my migraine pill.
Oh, that's even worse.
Yeah.
And, Dims to Fax is DEMS DAFAX.
Like a fax machine.
No, like, it's just how it's just the cooler way to spell things.
Hey,
so
fax,
that's why I did
no
it.
printer.
Okay.
Fax, no printer.
Yeah. So they get in the Bubble Club. At one point, Teresa tries to wave Darrell over.
Well, Gabby approaches Teresa.
Yeah, I don't.
And she's like, "Oh, I heard that you were planning to send Darrell into elimination." And Teresa's like, "Who told you that?"
There it is. There's that twang.
Leave me alone.
Yeah, Gabby, the British girl, is like, who told you that?
Is she the one that wore the Alabama sweatshirt?
Oh, yeah.
We're not having
Here
this
we go.
conversation again.
Regardless, that was why Teresa was trying to talk to Darrell, and Darrell was like, "I'm not listening to this." So,
well, he's like, I'm not coming over there. He's like, you come over here.
Yeah, and then she tried talking to him, and he's like, "No, I'm not doing this." And so, if Darrell's not going to fight with her, she's going to take it to Amber B.
Well, no, Darrell wasn't backing down. He was like, no, you said this, and then you said this to my partner. He's like, do you want me to go get her? He's like, I'll bring her over here, and she'll tell you what you said.
Yeah.
And he just wasn't having it. And then she goes and makes a big ordeal with Amber. And,
Who, by the way, looked absolutely adorable.
I think she's really pretty. But Jake, I don't know if you noticed this. She's got very bird-like features. She's got very long legs and kind of a pointy face, and I just noticed. I was like, "Oh, she reminds me of a bird." And one of my best friends dated a girl that we all thought looked like a bird.
Oh God,
it wasn't you.
I think everybody resembles something.
A bird
to a degree.
That's really profound.
It is really profound.
So Amber stays calm while Teresa's getting worked up about. I really don't know.
Yeah, I mean, it's really ridiculous because Teresa's running around like, I never said any of this. Where are you hearing that? And I'm like, you literally brought this up to CT.
Yeah, and she did say some stuff at the Daily, like, hey, we should strategize and whatever. And I don't remember who said it, but someone called her supervillain Teresa.
Devin. Because he was saying after she blew up on Amber B, she was walking around the whatever they're calling it with a really weird, creepy grin.
The house? Or the Bubble Club? It's the Bubble Club. That's the name of it.
The Bubble Club.
The Bubble Club.
The Bubble Club. don't pronounce the L's. The Bubble Club.
The Bubble Club.
Anyway, so he was like, she's just walking around with a really super creepy grin. Yikes, supervillain Teresa.
Well, after that is when we get arguably the best part of the episode, where Devin is just drunk and starts messing with Fessy and by extension Josh. And when Josh is your voice of reason in an argument, like he's pulling Fessy's side, he's like, he likes to poke.
I thought enough of it to where, like, I gave him fantasy points for seemingly keeping his composure to begin with.
He did for the most part.
Like, I made a note because I was like, this is really weird, because it was Devin, Corey, and Kyle that approached Fessy, and the way Devin's mind works, he's like, I know that Fessy's a little self-conscious right now, and then after everything that's blown up, he's a little depressed. Now's the perfect time to poke the bear.
Well, also, he hates Big Brother. And
exactly.
So he does that, and I was like, "Oh, Josh is the voice of reason." I was like, "That's ironic."
Mm-hmm.
And then they get pulled outside after security steps in, and then Devin just moons everyone, puts his butt up on the glass, and he's just going at it, which is hilarious. Like it is objectively funny. Like he apologizes for all of it later, but while he's doing it, Corey's in the background, and he's like cheering him on. And
well, yeah, because this was really, I don't know, it was really entertaining, but it was also a little weird at times, because once they get back to the house, Kyle and Devin are kind of being playful about it, about like picking on Fessy, because they know that they're pushing his buttons and he's having a hard time controlling himself. Anissa even said, Fessy, you're being a weirdo. And like, it's weird the way it progresses, because
they're just drunk. Like they've been drinking, and Devin thinks it's hilarious. And
I thought it was hilarious too. I mean, he was screaming, Fessy, you're yelling and you're touching me.
Yeah. And so after all that happens, they go outside, they come back in. Then I don't remember what exactly provoked it, but
Devin and Kyle tell Josh to leave. To leave the room because they're talking about him.
He just threw a glass of water because, of course, like I think, didn't he do that at the bar last season? That's what started it. He threw glass at somebody.
Yeah, he's a liquid thrower.
Yeah.
A drink tosser.
And so he does that, but he mostly gets Kyle, and so Kyle's mad.
He threw it on Kyle.
Yeah, but he said he's like, I was trying to hit Devin. That was his excuse. And
that's a stupid excuse.
So Kyle's mad. Devin still thinks it's hilarious, and
he can't even get the water throw right.
And it's like over a counter. It's not like it's 20 yards away. It's like 4 feet.
No,
in front
he was
of him.
pretty like close enough. He shouldn't have missed if he was actually aiming for Devin.
It's just that's the rationale with this guy. Is he's like, I'm gonna get water on.
Yeah, but that was like the big turning point for Kyle, where Kyle was laughing and making fun of them the whole time. But once that water gets on him, it's like the flip of a switch, and he was ready to throw hands.
He was in that nice turtleneck.
It was a nice turtleneck.
It might be cashmere. I don't know if you can get cashmere wet. I've never owned cashmere. Jake, do you own any cashmere?
Heck no.
I think yours. I have some.
I don't have any.
I think you're supposed to get it dry cleaned, but I have machine washed mine on like delicate cycles.
I own suede.
That's the same.
Okay, no.
So anyway, that happens, and then people are talking about Josh, and then CT's like, "Yeah, this guy's a lunatic." Like
he said, Josh is a man-child and isn't worth it.
And he's like, is it worth going after it? No. And he's just like, just leave him alone.
And then after that, Josh gives Devin a countdown and tells him to walk away. He was like 3, 2, and I was like, oh, please don't walk away.
He did push him.
Don't walk away, because I wanted to see if he would actually do something. And he did, like, he gave Devin a really hard shove.
He did, but then
and like he fell back on the couch.
The thing is, like, in that situation, like, Devin wasn't looking to fight or anything, and I think that was the time when he's like, Josh, he's like, I'm a layup, you're a layup, you just don't know it and won't admit it. He's like, but the thing is that you're more of a layup than I am.
Yeah.
And
it's like Josh
so anyway,
just never progressed past middle school. Like, as far as
it's like he got to 6'3", but he emotionally, like, never got there.
Right.
But the next morning, the first thing Devin does, he apologizes to Gabby because, you know, he knows he put a target on him by acting like that. Even if probably the majority of the house is like, oh, well, Josh is an idiot, and Fessy we all kind of hate because he screwed over everyone else.
Yeah. I really didn't expect everything that happened that night to put a big target on Devin.
I mean, he's just doing the same thing he'd already been doing. So he, it's just like, I get it if you were his partner and a rookie, like you might be freaking out because you're like, oh, we just became partners and now this guy is trying to pick a fight with everyone.
I just think after looking at everybody's behavior, at the very least, it just makes people dislike the people in the house that dislike Fessy already. Just probably makes them dislike him a little more because he was the one that was getting really upset with everybody, and then Josh, of course, inserting himself into a fight.
Josh held it together for about 10 minutes.
He did, and I was absolutely surprised.
And then he threw water at Devin and hit Kyle, and then it became a whole other thing. So Teresa then in the morning or whatever starts blaming CT about it was his plan to go after Darrell. She's talking with Amber B. And
Jay.
Jay's there. Well, I mean, that's her partner. And I was like, that's a strange move.
Well, it blindsided Jeyyy because Jeyyy was like, what are you talking about?
Well, yeah, he didn't know that conversation had even happened. So right after that is deliberation time. And to start off the deliberation, Devin apologizes to the entire house, which it did seem sincere. I really did feel like he was just drunk and thought it was funny.
I thought it was funny, and I was not drunk.
And so CT knows that Teresa's going to be saying some things. And I like, even though, like, maybe ethically it's not the nicest thing to do, he's just like, he knows she's got a target on her. He's like, just discredit everything she says. It doesn't matter what he said, just pretend like it never happened.
Because most of the people in the house already don't trust Teresa at this point because they think that she's really shady and she's going behind everybody's backs.
And I think they all think CT, like, just tells it like it is, and they respect him, even if you don't want to go against him. And so I was like, it's a pretty smart move from his perspective just deny.
Yeah, according to Nisa, he's actually sneakier than Teresa.
Yeah.
Which I don't know if I agree with that. Like, I mean, I don't know.
Anissa said that CT has a very clever way of making everything not about him.
I mean, it worked. Like in
did.
This instance, it definitely worked.
Because when Teresa started, like, out loud pointing the finger at CT, he just came back with, "No one's going to believe you anyway."
Yeah, I mean, he's just like, that didn't happen. What are you talking about? And I mean, if you stick to that long enough and loud enough, and you're not Kyle, like, people might believe you. It works
because as soon as he said that, Darrell piped in and started pushing more blame on Teresa.
Yeah, and, like, so Teresa's doing all that, and it doesn't go well for her, and Jeyyy is like, I appreciate that I have a partner that's sticking up for me, because he knows it's probably a guy's elimination, and he's like, but also please stop, because
it ain't working.
It's doing the opposite.
Yeah. Like, it is admirable that she would, like, go to bat, but also it felt like she was trying to, like, cover herself. Like, no, this was his idea. I didn't say this, and I think it's kind of like half and half. Like, they both talked about it, and neither one of them want to take responsibility for it. So
I think she just made things worse for Jeyyy.
Yeah, they go into the deliberation. Everyone votes. Jeyyy and Teresa are the vote, and so Leroy and Casey see that. They see who all voted for it, and they're talking, and Leroy says basically he wants to get his skull, especially against Jeyyy, unless it's something that he feels like Jay's got an advantage in. And then he said he might pick Nom, which I guess just because Nam is kind of like an unknown. Like,
well, he said it was because Nam didn't really have a lot of alliances in the house, just because he's kind of been like a fly on the wall,
and they haven't like performed like great.
Well, he and Lolo have not been performing super well together the last few dailies, just because they've been butting heads a little bit, and I think the rest of the house is starting to see that.
Yeah, and so like he says that, and then like I don't know if someone tipped Lolo off. Because, like, after all that, like, Lola goes up to Nam, and she's just like, hey, you might want to be ready, because they might vote you in tonight. And I was like, somebody's got to, like, tip her off, because she's a rookie at this, too. Mm-hmm. I was like, I don't think she just would outright be like, you know what, Nam, I think it's you. Like, Leroy's going to come after you. I don't know. Maybe she's more perceptive than I want to give her credit for.
She might be, because, I mean, if you think about it, like, just looking... take a step back and look at the alliances that are in the house, and with Casey and Leroy being the power partners for
the what now?
Whatever they're called.
It's the power partners. That's what it is. They're a Saturday morning cartoon. Yeah.
Leave me alone. Whatever, with them being...
She called them a power partners.
Yeah. With those two being the ones in power... deciding who's going to throw.
No. Let's go all in on this hand. Power partners.
Okay, with Casey and Leroy being the power partners that they are. I can't stand either one of you.
So double agents, and we went with power partners.
I couldn't remember which one the double agents were.
It's actually called double partners. It's just really redundant.
Anyway. Casey has the Big Brother alliance. Leroy has his alliance. Nam does not fit in either one of those. And Jeyyy doesn't either. And there's not many other people that are in that same boat.
I mean, you have guys like Michi and like some kind of like outliers like that. But like, Jeyy's a good competitor, and you might as well throw some other person in that might be a threat, because
someone like if
Michi's not a threat.
No, if they are really wanting to get Jeyyy out of the house, like Leroy said it was going to be his mission to, you're not going to throw somebody in that would give Jeyyy a pretty good chance of winning.
Jake, I don't know if you noticed, but right before the alarm went off for them to like go to elimination, like CT was in the middle of cooking. And I wonder how long, like, they have once that alarm starts going off to like get ready and like going out, because it's still like the middle of the day, and they film the things at nighttime. We don't know how far away the crater or whatever it is.
So you think he could have wasted those eggs or something?
It was more than eggs. It was like chicken and like something in a skillet, and it was like he was like actually cooking. It wasn't an egg quesadilla or whatever he wanted to make. That
an omelet. You mean an omelet?
Did you say an omelet?
An omelet.
He called it an egg quesadilla.
I don't know what an egg quesadilla is.
It's a quesadilla with eggs in it.
That's what it would have to be, right?
It doesn't sound good. Hey,
it's a tortilla with eggs.
Can I just quick little side note, can I say that I really like Corey's #GirlDad shirt?
No, you can't say that.
I thought it was really cute.
Mm-mm.
Maybe one day you can be a girl dad, Han.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Hopefully. So the alarm goes off. CT's cooking. Before we get into the elimination, we're going to take another quick break. We are back, and everyone goes down to the crater. The whereabouts of CT's meal is still up in the air until we get confirmation from someone.
We may never know.
So they get to the crater. Everyone's up top. Before TJ reveals who the vote is, like basically the vote that what's it called? You got me thrown off now with power partners.
Power partners. It's power partners for the rest of the episode.
The compromise partners.
The power compromise. Compromise power partners.
But they're not in power.
So before he announces that, he basically starts off just lecturing everyone. He's like, what happened at the house last night is unacceptable, and this is your only warning.
He said one and only warning for last night's behavior. And then he announces that every guy who DQ'd in the daily has a void vote. So their votes for the compromise partners doesn't count.
So I feel like the warning to the house was more so like Fessy, Josh, and Kyle. Maybe Devin, but Devin didn't ever get physical. Devin's just screwing around with people. Like Kyle was like wanting to go after him.
But
Fessy,
he didn't do anything.
Yeah.
I think it was more on probably Fessy because they had to get security after him a couple of times. And then for Josh, because Josh actually put hands on Devin. And that's always the clear line drawn in the sand. If you put hands on another person in the house,
I'll disagree with that, because that's the one thing we've talked about with the challenge is they've been extremely inconsistent on what sends you home and what doesn't. Like sometimes it'll be that, and then other times it'll be like, don't do it again, guys. And then other times like someone will get punched in the face.
Well, like fighting.
Yeah, and
especially the last handful of seasons, they've been cracking down on it because they sent Kayla and Melissa home.
She pushed her.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it was a push.
Yeah. I agree. Like, I think what Josh did was as bad as what Kayla did. But, I mean, we've seen also way worse not happen. So, that happens, and then again, he says all the guys who DQ'd, their votes don't count, and so I was like, whoa, that's really interesting. I was like, well, except that all the girls are going to probably vote with their partners, because typically your partners vote in pairs. Like, you kind of decide who you're going to vote for. Mm-hmm. So it's really not going to change the outcome, because every guy essentially lost their vote.
Yeah, for the most part. Now, I don't think Jeyyy didn't lose his vote.
No,
and I don't think Michi lost his vote, but I think that's it.
I don't know.
I don't know, but Fessy.
It was a bummer that, like, you know, because that's a big deal, right? That, like, all of a sudden these votes don't count, and then ultimately it didn't matter. So.
Yeah, it was the same exact outcome.
It had the potential to change who the compromised agents were, but I mean, it didn't, because everybody was still, for the most part, after Jeyyy and Teresa, except for Fessy, who voted for Devin.
Yeah, but again, like you're typically voting in pairs. Like you and your partner almost always will vote the same way, unless you're some weirdo like Kyle that's gonna just go after the same person and then randomly decide not to anymore. So it didn't matter, but I do like setting that precedent, because from now on you can be like, well, crap, if I don't try, like, I'm not going to get a vote. And we've seen people throw challenges. Bananas used to be one of the biggest ones that used to do it.
Yeah.
And so
even up until like recently.
Yeah. Well, CT agrees with TJ in this confessional. He's like, he's right. Like, we should be. There's a lot of people who would rather be here competing, and we're getting a chance. We don't need to just screw around. And I was like, there's that old man CT.
Well, he even called TJ dad. He's like, TJ's like our dad, and it feels like we let dad down.
Yeah. I mean, TJ was upset a couple times this episode. And so Teresa and Jeyyy still get the vote. It doesn't matter. And again, we saw what the elimination was, which we had already seen this season with Ashley and Natalie. But, I mean, as soon as we all had watched Exes 2 not that long ago.
My mind immediately went to that.
Yes.
Yeah.
Exes 2, if you haven't watched Exes 2, just try to find the elimination with Naya and Leroy versus Bananas and Nany, because it is one of the most dominating eliminations I've ever seen.
I've never seen anything like it.
He moved like he was on like a freight train, and when I saw that that's what it was, I was like, he's going down.
Yeah,
like,
there's no way he's passing that up.
Because he just, I don't know, man. Like, it's like this elimination was built for Leroy, and so it's called Fire Escape. Leroy goes in, and Leroy's kind of psyching himself up before, and he's like, you don't want it, and he's just talking out loud, and I was like, I like it. I was like, get in game mode.
I love it. And then Jeyyy was kind of like joking. He was like, this is the first time I've had an angry boyfriend chase me down.
Yeah. No, he said it wasn't. He's like, because, well, the ladies.
Oh, I thought he said it was.
No, he said
he basically deemed himself the ladies' man of the challenge.
Or the guy that's the cheater with all the other people. So
neither one of those are good things to be.
Anyway, Leroy kills it. Like, just What'd you point at me for?
The only difference with this time, since when we saw it earlier this season with Ashley and Natalie, TJ said they ramped it up for this one since it's for like men's elimination. He said it's twice as long with 3 times the amount of obstacles.
Yeah, but it doesn't matter. Like it didn't matter at all.
No.
And, like Leroy won, and it seemed like he was pretty decently far ahead. But I will say, like, I think any other guy in the house going against Jeyyy would have beat him.
I think so too.
Because Jeyyy,
he's a rock climber.
He's a rock climber. He's nimble, and he was not that far behind Leroy. It's just Leroy is a freak at this elimination.
We've seen him do it once, and now we've seen him do it again.
The entire elimination was under a minute long, and I really wish we got like one static shot of the whole thing, and I could just watch how fast it actually went.
Yeah.
Because, like, again, I think, you know, we all saw, obviously, the one with Naya and Leroy and whatever. It was a lot shorter, but, like, he moved up like he was a lumberjack. Like, he'd been climbing trees like that his whole life, and I don't know, he just completely destroyed. But, like, to Jay's credit, like, I really do think any other guy in the house probably would have lost to Jeyyy.
Well, Jeyyy was right behind him.
Yeah, he didn't. I mean, nobody here's going to say that he performed bad, right?
No.
Like
Leroy just blows this elimination out of the freaking water every time he does it.
And considering how much, like, Leroy killed this elimination, Jeyyy wasn't, you know, as far behind him as he should have been, probably, considering how fast Leroy went.
Yeah, like, Jeyyy was maybe, like, I don't know, 10, 15 feet behind him or something like that, which is not far in the, like, grand scheme of things. He probably was 3/4 of the way back when Leroy finished, so, like, he was close. And I'm trying to think, like, who up there would possibly beat Jeyyy? Like, definitely not Josh or Devin, or somebody said in the Slack group maybe Kyle because he's really tall, but I don't know.
I don't know.
CT's not.
No. I don't think Fessy would.
For Fessy or Michi or Darrell, maybe.
Darrell may be the one.
Darrell would probably be the closest one. That would kind of be a toss-up. But it's just because Jeyyy is very light, and he also is a rock climber. So he has a lot of weird core strength and stuff.
Yeah.
And but I mean, like, it's, again, hats off to Jeyyy. Like, it was a good effort, but, like, you basically ran into, like, Michael Jordan in his prime. It was like, oh, I got this.
Yeah, this is like the one elimination you never, ever, ever want to be on the other side of if you're going against Leroy.
Yeah, and Jeyyy was like, he didn't think he had lost. He's like, how did he beat me? He's like, what happened?
Because he even said afterwards, he's like, I was trucking through this. He should not be ahead of me.
Yeah, I mean, under a minute total. I think Jeyyy would have probably been right over a minute or so to finish his, but, like, solid effort. You know, Jeyyy was pretty emotional when he was leaving. I think Jay's going to come back, right?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I will say it was interesting that he asked for a callback on his exit interview. He's like, I just really hope you guys call me back and let me come do this again.
I don't think he has to. Like, I mean...
No, I think he's back.
He's an entertaining guy to watch. He's actually good.
He's a good competitor. And he's kind of crazy. Like, he'll do whatever.
Yeah.
And so...
Not crazy, like, out of his mind. Crazy, like, down for
like
it.
Like an adrenaline. Like, yeah.
And just down for it.
Yeah, so I think he's back for sure. Like, I don't even think... Like, if you're a casting person, like, he's probably, like, top half of your list of, like, new people to call.
Yeah, for sure.
And so... Darrell blames Teresa for Jeyyy going home, which in a way he's kind of right.
Yeah, he was like, this is all Teresa's fault, Jeyyy, not yours, Teresa's.
I mean, it was her move, but it's his fault for going along with it and just, like, whatever.
He never tried to argue with what she wanted to do, never even tried to get her to compromise on something else. It was just whatever she said is what went.
Yeah.
And that doesn't always work in a partnership.
Well, it didn't work at all for him on this one. He was the target immediately the next time, and he went home. And what really does suck for him is that him and Teresa lost having that power by 1 second in the daily. And so, man, like,
that would have changed everything.
Yeah, it would have been completely different. So, at that point, Teresa's left without a partner, so she's matched up with Corey, who didn't compete in the men's daily. So I guess his vote counted. We didn't think about that. His vote counted.
Oh, yeah.
Because he didn't even compete.
Think about that.
And so he tells her, welcome to the cursed side, because every one of his partners has gone home.
Well, he also said, I am now partnered with Toxic T.
Yeah.
She's had a couple different villainous nicknames this episode.
I think this is her last season. I don't have any inside information on that, but like she got pregnant as soon as she got back home, and obviously like that's going to take 9 months, so she's going to not be on the next season, and then when you have a newborn, like you're not going to come right back to the challenge. So I feel like this was like her one shot to like come back, and again, we don't know how long she lasts, but I have a feeling that this might be her last one, like for real.
Yeah, I agree.
And so yeah, that's basically this episode. And unless does anybody else have anything to add that I know I probably skipped over some of your stuff, but I don't remember if I said it on the podcast. But because we added the fantasy segments and all that, I'm trying to like actively trim down the recaps, because we all know you guys watch the episodes. Like we don't have to hit every little thing. We just try to hit the major plot points. So do you guys have anything you want to get off your chests?
No, I think you did a good job, Zach.
Hallelujah. So let's do the superlatives for the episode. I'll go first for who smashed some heads.
You went first.
That's fine.
Sweet.
I'm giving it to Leroy, and I try not to just do who wins and loses the eliminations, but I mean, like, man, he just destroyed it. Like, and like we all agreed, Jeyyy did a really, really good effort.
Yeah.
But Leroy, like, he's unstoppable. I'm
fine with that. I felt like one of you would give it to Leroy, even though we try not to. So, like, I'm fine with that.
I feel like it was such like his move from the beginning. He's like, Jeyyy, I'm gonna come get you, and then he did.
He literally did.
So yeah, that's who I picked. Jake, you go next.
I'm gonna give it to Devin. He first time I can recall showed everybody his backside. That is
he has an OnlyFans.
Yeah, so I guess you could say a smashing heads with a free tease of OnlyFans.
And he also got in the hot tub and he had a shirt off earlier, so that's some teasing right there too.
Yeah.
Hey.
So thank you, Devin, for that. Someone in our Slack group said it was reminiscent of Mike on the season he did, because I guess he mooned somebody. I don't really remember that.
I don't remember that.
I think it was that weird little Paula thing he had, and he was trying to be real like.
That's how you get the girls.
Yeah,
you moon them.
Look at my booty.
Well, it worked. He hooked up with Paula that season.
He did.
So, Hannah, what's yours?
I actually had Devin and Kyle because they poked the bear that is Fessy, and then they pushed Josh over the edge.
Again, Devin and Kyle.
It was hilarious. They're the perfect partnership.
Power partnership.
They're the perfect power partnership.
But they were not the power partners.
And I wish that they would do a recap podcast, because I would listen to it forever.
Devin had a podcast for a minute.
Well, I need him to do a podcast with Kyle. I don't even care what they talk about.
For who got their head smashed, again, I don't like to give it to just who lost the elimination. I got to give it to Jeyyy, though, because he was so passive with everything Teresa wanted. Mm-hmm. And then he didn't do anything to help himself.
To his detriment.
And then he just, you know what? I got it. I'm not gonna give it to him. I'm giving it to Michi because he fell off the daily. I can't give it to Jeyyy in good conscience because he did really good in the elimination.
Yeah.
He just lost. So I'm giving it to Michi. You didn't almost
didn't even make it on.
And then he fell off.
Immediately.
With nobody trying to get him off.
No, nobody had started doing anything.
He just fell away.
How'd that happen?
So I don't know. Because they cut to him in confessional. He's like, guys, this thing's really hard.
Yeah.
and then he falls off immediately. So that's
Bless
mine.
his heart.
This is Michi. Jake?
You know what? I am going to give it to Jeyyy because he just, you got to look at it and say he just didn't How can you sit back and say that he took this game seriously when you look at your partner and you're like, you know what, do whatever you want?
Strategically, it was a very bad, political play.
Bad. Real bad.
That's going to be something that he has to work on for future seasons, because we know he'll be back.
Yeah. I want to watch his Survivor season now, though. I really do. I know I would like Survivor. I just don't want to commit to it. I've watched it a long time ago. So what's yours, Santa?
Head smashed everybody who watched Leroy in that elimination.
So you went like a grand scheme of things.
Yes, that included TJ, production, the rest of the house,
and
us.
I wish they would on their YouTube channel or something be like
the unedited. Here's the full 60 seconds.
Yeah, I mean it was under a minute, and so again, I just would like to see how fast it was, because it's all burned in our memory what he did on X's 2, because it was one take where he just blew through the whole thing, and on this one they kept showing that same clip over and over again.
It made it feel like it was a lot longer.
Yeah.
I think if they showed somewhere, I wish they had left it in and then done the slow mo or done the full.
I wish
minute afterwards.
That's what I like,
because under 60 seconds would leave such an impression, and it would help everybody watching see the gravity of what he did.
Well, because Ashley basically DQ'd on that elimination, right? Didn't she just get stuck for half of it, and then Natalie just destroyed her?
Yeah.
No, she didn't stay stuck.
I don't remember.
But she was stuck for a while because she couldn't get her legs over it.
So let's do the song of the weeks, or the song of whatever. It's a playlist on Spotify. Just search for Smashing Hits Podcast Double Agents playlist. It's not,
I need to stop you.
What?
Yeah, I need to stop you right there. I just want to personally thank you, because I noticed you actually used my song.
Do you know why?
Instagram. Why?
Because the song that I picked's not on Apple Music.
But regardless,
I did use it. Yeah.
I can't give you crap for it, and then you do it and not thank you for it. So
you're welcome.
I just want to say thank. It was a good song.
Why are you wiping at your eyes?
Yeah, I'm wiping at my ears.
Yeah.
You gotta admit, good song though, right?
You know what? I honestly don't remember. Right. I will say I remember when I searched for it, there were 70 other songs that had the exact same title, and so I had to really search for it to get it up there. So for me, I'm going with a band that's always in my top 5 of the year from Spotify.
Brand New.
No, it's Brand New is my favorite band of all time, but this is a band called Citizen. And they have a new song out, because I believe they have a new album coming out soon. And the song is called I Want to Kill You.
Okay.
But it's not about that. And if you heard it, you wouldn't think it sounded anything like that. But yeah, it's Citizen. That's mine. Actually, I recommended Matt Kariki's or whatever, week 2. And it's the same guy. It's just this is his full band, and the other stuff was his solo project. But Jake, what's yours?
Band is called Make Them Suffer. The song is called The Attendant. It's a ballad, basically.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Nice.
Is it like Meatloaf?
No, not quite. You know what? Yeah, add some heavy guitars to it, and it's yeah.
Okay.
Okay. My song is Monster by Shawn Mendes and Justin Bieber. It's a catchy little song.
I don't know that one.
I'm always a fan of JB and
JB Bickerstaff.
Yes, always a fan of Justin Bieber. Also, still a decent fan of Shawn Mendes, even though he did the gross makeout thing with Camila Mendes.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah, no idea.
They're dating, and it was last year or year and a half ago.
He's dating someone that has the same last name as him?
No. Camila Cabello.
I was like, what are the odds of that?
Is who he's dating, and they took a selfie video where they were rubbing their tongues against each other, and it went viral because people were disgusted. And I was like, that makes me not like Shawn Mendes.
Jake's just licking his own lips right now, which no one will ever see because this is audio only.
I was trying to picture it by
really
doing it.
Excessively.
Picture it by doing it. That's the motto Jake lives by.
Yep.
Yeah.
So before we get into the fantasy stuff, we're going to take a quick break. We are back, and Jake, I'm just gonna let you kind of take it away, let me try to keep up.
All right, let's just jump right into it. The killers are home. 5 points to Cam and Kyle.
Yes.
For some reason, I thought it was gonna be Leroy.
No. Devin gives an F grade to Jeyyy and Teresa for their maneuvers while being not double agents, but power partners. -5 to Jeyyy and Teresa.
Hold on, I gotta find both of them. I think I have both of them.
You do have both of them.
Because that's why I got so many points last week. All right.
Jeyyy gets triple teamed by Kyle, Corey, and Leroy. -5 on each, so that's a -15 total to Jeyyy.
Oh my god. Okay.
Leroy, just with the simple "you not winning" statement. 5 points to Leroy.
Got it.
Teresa, get over it. Be happy. 10 points for what can be applied to any area of life.
Yeah.
That is true.
Jeyyy got knocked unconscious last season. -5.
Wait, what? Why is he getting -5 for something that happened last season?
Because it's just a reminder that he got knocked unconscious.
No, I'm gonna argue that.
Wait, was that something that came up this episode?
Yeah, Leroy said
they
it.
brought it up.
Leroy reminded him that he got knocked unconscious.
Okay.
Okay.
So give him -5 for Leroy reminding him you got knocked unconscious.
I'm fine with that because Leroy used that as a burn on him in conversation.
Okay.
That's how that counts.
Breakfast with CT and Teresa, 5 points to each.
Both on my team.
Teresa said, "I don't need friends. I think that's sad." -5.
Is it sad or is it just like you know where you're at in life?
No, it's sad.
It's pretty
Anybody
sad.
needs friends. Fessy is misunderstood as a human. -5 because that's a weird thing to say.
It was weird.
Also, that whole thing felt forced, like we said.
Nani's shock face at the challenge activated sign. 5 points to Nani. Let's see. I just wrote Kyle's fear, but I don't even remember. So -5 to Kyle.
Where's Kyle? Oh, there he is.
Nani doesn't know why she keeps doing this. Neither do I. -5 to Nani. Anissa first to fall. -10.
Oh, yeah, she fell pretty fast.
Big T, before she fell, just said goodbye. 5
She really?
points.
She did.
5 points to Big T.
It was polite.
Casey just gave a straight shoulder shrug to Nani to finally knock her off. 5 points for the shoulder shrug. But also 10 points to Casey for winning her heat.
Okay.
Darrell got mad at the helicopter. -5. Amber B is.
Hold on.
Amber B. Yeah, go for it. You good?
I got it. Yeah.
Amber B is bored watching the boys. -5.
She's bored because they weren't doing anything. That's not on her.
Nonetheless, it's not a good thing.
She's
bored.
sitting there
-5.
complaining.
Okay.
Devin is a reasonable guy. 5 points. Darrell ain't trying to fight nobody. 5 points.
Except a helicopter.
-10 to Kyle, Fessy, Darrell, Nom, and Devin because they all got DQ'd and didn't even try.
You're gonna have to read me back those.
Fessy's
Kyle.
next.
Kyle, Fessy.
Darrell.
Hold on. All right.
Nom, and Devin.
All right. Oh,
It's like
hey, guess what?
everybody on my team.
None of them are on my team.
Darrell was the only one I didn't have.
All right.
That's gonna hurt me.
Corey is offended by this effort. 5 points. I think that's a fair.
He also didn't get to go.
Teresa, while she's talking to, I think it was who was she talking? Lola. She was just bouncing the whole time. 5 points.
It's cold.
Yeah, 5 points for bouncy talking by Teresa. -10 to Amber M. She's the first off in her heat.
Was she? Honestly, I don't even remember her in this episode.
Yeah. Teresa wins the heat. 10 points. Michi first off, -10, only off. Probably give him -15, honestly.
Because he almost didn't make it on.
Yeah.
That's true.
Big T deems men as a letdown. 5 points to Big T. All right, so here's a fantasy points first.
Okay.
All the boys except for Corey, Jeyyy, and Leroy -5 because TJ further implemented what is it? Further stated that the guys sucked.
Okay, hold on.
All the boys
-5 after the -10 on everybody.
Yes, because
then why do
TJ,
-10?
Well,
I just said because TJ. This is TJ. This is why. Because
they got -10 for the round, and then they got chastised
and berated.
Yeah,
they got their pants pulled down by TJ.
Okay, well, if we're doing it now, then I don't think we should do negative points later during the elimination.
That doesn't make sense.
Yeah, what are you talking about?
Because he said that their votes don't count. I don't think we should take away points for that if we're taking away 15 points for everybody right now.
I don't.
Wait,
we don't give points for votes. What are you talking about?
What about hold on. What about Jeyyy and Leroy? Because he did single
not
them
Jeyyy,
out.
Not Jeyyy and Leroy.
Yeah, he said those two
because
didn't.
they tried. And Corey.
Okay.
Corey didn't play. So.
Yeah, so Leroy, Corey, and Jeyyy, and then I'm trying to get everybody else.
So wait, what are you saying, Han?
So you're doing -10 points right just now for being disqualified.
She doesn't want you to double dip whenever it comes time for TJ to say their votes don't count for them to get penalized again.
No, that's not a.
Okay.
I've never counted points for votes.
Yeah, but I mean,
well, I know we're not counting points for votes, but because TJ announces at the elimination because you guys didn't try,
it's the same,
your votes didn't count.
Yeah, that's not on
it's the same. It's the same action. That's what she was trying to clarify.
That's not on my tally.
Okay.
Okay.
I got it all.
But
I got it all.
Also, a +5 to all the girls for women empowerment.
Oh man, you're killing me on these.
Because as much as the boys were berated,
so
even the ones that fell off, as much as all the women, as much as the
Okay.
boys were berated, the women were celebrated.
We're gonna have a lot of scoring in this one.
Were you playing in that?
No, it worked. You don't have to try when it's natural.
I don't know.
Hold on, there's a lot of ladies that got to get points.
We like ladies. I like ladies. Do you like ladies?
Oh, I almost gave Michi 5, but he's not a lady.
You can't do that.
Okay.
All right.
I'm good.
25 to Casey and Leroy because they won.
Mm-hmm.
Moving on. I believe this.
Okay.
I believe this quote was.
No one was holding you up.
No.
I believe this quote was directed toward Amber B. But Teresa said she's slick, but I'm slicker. 5 points to Teresa.
She did say
that. But she's lonely drinking. -5 to Teresa.
Okay.
She was sitting at that table by herself.
I know.
Darrell ain't having it. 5 points to Darrell. Per Devin, supervillain Teresa. 5 points to Teresa.
Oh, I thought you were going to say Devin.
No.
I got it.
I'm not going to get points for that.
Fessy's getting poked. -5.
Man, Fessy's on a -25 so far.
My entire team's on a negative.
Devin yelled, "Big Brother sucks again." 5 points.
Yeah, Devin's going to get you some
I
points
hope
here.
this is a recurring thing, though. Like, I want him to say it at least once every episode.
Fessy and Kyle fight. 10 points to each. We reward violence on this show.
Yeah.
15 points to Devin for the full moon.
I was going to say 5 for each cheek, but it's
okay,
fine.
10.
No, I mean, we can do...
No, 15's fine.
10.
You're right.
Okay, 15. Okay.
Okay.
Let's go with your first instinct.
10 points because Josh is composing himself?
I feel like you're going to just take those
We're
away
gonna take 'em
immediately.
away.
I think it was Devin that said that Josh wasn't allowed in the kitchen. -5 to Josh.
There they go.
Yeah.
Oops. Josh lost his composure. -10.
Composure. Josh Larster's composure.
Hi, y'all.
I was gonna say he needs at least a -5 for his aim because he hit Kyle.
It was really bad.
Well, another -5 because he screwed up the water bottle throw.
Yeah.
Kyle hit with water on accident. -5. -5 to Kyle.
He's just collateral damage.
But 10 points to Josh and Kyle for the fight.
Yeah, that was what Kyle got really mad.
Mm-hmm.
5 points to CT because he called Josh a man-child. -5 to Josh because he is a man-child.
All right.
5 points to CT for the "he's not worth it" quote.
All right.
Kyle agrees. 5 points to Kyle. Josh counted down. I'm going to give him 10 points for the strong countdown.
It was so funny.
Because he knew how.
10 points to Devin and Josh for their fight.
Did he say 5 or 10 points?
How much did you
10.
give Josh for the last one? Oh, my bad.
But Devin got pushed down. -5.
Devin.
After the countdown, what was it?
10 points to Devin and Josh for the fight.
Okay.
Yeah, I got it.
And then Devin got pushed down. -5.
Yeah, I got it.
Let's see. Devin just simply says, "I'm a layup." 5 points for self-awareness. Casey
So
at
then
one
Josh-
point said she wants. Casey at one point said she wants a team with a bunch of Caseys. That's weird. -5.
All right.
Devin apologizes to Gabby, 5 points, and then apologizes to the room, another 5 points.
Okay.
Jeyyy isn't a part of Teresa's plan, -5. Also, Teresa remembers her outfits, 5 points to Teresa.
Yeah, she said she keeps receipts on all of her conversations and outfits.
I was wearing a Lululemon shirt, and I don't remember the rest. What she said.
Let's see. Let's see. According to Anissa, CT is sneakier than Teresa. 5 points to CT. 5 points to Teresa for fighting hard for Jeyyy, and 5 points to Jeyyy for having a partner that would fight so hard for him.
Yeah, he's not a scumbag.
But it ain't working. So -5 to Teresa.
I thought it would be -5 to Jeyyy because it was only hurting him.
It's the same difference. They're both on my team.
-5 to Teresa because she feels misunderstood. Corey Glasses, 5 points. Karma Cam, 5 points.
Man, this is gonna take a while to add all this up.
-10 to Jeyyy and Teresa because they were compromised.
Yeah.
At one point, here we go. Here's Michi. At one point, when the elimination got activated, he simply said, "Elimination activated, baby!" 5 points.
Okay.
CT let Daddy TJ down. -5.
I don't like that you said Daddy, TJ.
It wasn't specifically CT. It was all of the guys. He just pointed it out.
No, I get it, but he specifically spoke to feeling like he let his dad down.
Okay.
Even after the weird little, all these men's votes don't count, Jeyyy and Teresa are still compromised. -5 to Jeyyy and Teresa.
They already got -10 for the same action.
I'm aware.
Okay.
Leroy is holding people responsible. 5 points to Leroy. Angry boyfriend Leroy, 5 points. Leroy wins, 50 points. Jeyyy loses, -25.
Yeah.
But you know what? Emotional Jeyyy simply wanting to provide a good life for his people. 5 points to Jeyyy.
And it was a good effort. We all agreed on that.
Sad Nom, -5. It's all Teresa's fault, -10 to Teresa. But 5 points for the Toxic Teresa nickname.
To her or?
To her.
Yeah, to her. And
Toxic T.
And lastly, 5 points to Big T because they closed out the episode with her saying she likes this game. So 5 points to Big T.
All right.
And that is it.
Happy to be here.
Those are your fantasy points. Brought to you by Chick-fil-A.
This one's gonna take a while.
Are we allowed to say that it's brought by Chick-fil-A?
Yeah, eat fresh, and
yeah, eat fresh, Chick-fil-A. All right, we will be right back with all of the updated totals.
And we are back after having
right.
it. Oh,
Well, I was just gonna say it was a lot of math, a couple of firsts for this week.
I'm excited. This could be. I'm excited.
So, I for sure Teresa had probably the most individual scoring out of any single person per episode.
Would you say
she had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18 different scores.
Atta girl.
And by the way, she only ended up with a positive 10 overall.
Okay.
And then we have for sure the biggest negative of the season. I would think. I don't think anyone else has got any this close.
it's got to be me?
No.
Really?
It's Jeyyy. You're not on the show.
I thought you were saying team-wise.
Jeyyy ended up with a negative 60.
Oh, my God.
Wow.
We can make up some ground on hand tonight.
He only had
I have
two
Jeyyy.
positive vibes.
Oh, you have Jeyyy. My bad.
I had Jeyyy and Teresa, so between the two of them, they ended up with negative 50.
Wow.
And so I still actually did okay because Leroy got me 90. So that helped. So anyway, Hannah had the most people score because she hasn't had anyone eliminated, and when you gave points out to all the females, and then
I have a lot of females on my team.
Yeah, and I'm pretty sure we'll have the same amount.
No, because you guys have a lot of eliminated women.
Oh, okay. Anyway, and then you took away points from, and we had some guys that were eliminated, but she ended up with 55 total points for the week.
Okay.
Whoa, I thought I was going to be in the negative. I was so sure.
Well, Devin got you points. I think Devin got you 35, and
Josh was back and forth.
Josh ended up his last two because he got in 2 fights. He ended up with positive 20.
Oh, thank gosh! That's a first. He's had me in the negative, or he has had negative points for the week every week so far.
So she had 55. I had 70 for the week, even with a negative 60 with Jeyyy.
That's
because
wild.
Leroy pulled it out for me, and Big T got me 20 just for being polite. and
you know what? That's okay because being polite takes you places.
And Jake, you ended up with 25.
Oh, come on!
Here's the thing. Darrell got you negative 10 overall.
Of course he did.
Lolo got you 5.
Great.
Casey ended up getting you 40, so 40 right there. But then Michi got you negative 15.
Lord.
And then Anissa got you 5.
Great.
No,
Negative
actually,
5.
I counted it wrong. You have less. I gave you a positive 5 for Anissa, and it should be a negative 5. You should have negative 15. I mean, not negative, but 15 total.
Great.
Yeah.
Okay.
I got to correct that.
My team's worthless. Let's just call it what it is.
I mean, you've
They're
got
worthless.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of your people are gone. You only have half a team right now.
Yeah, you're right, Han. Let's just hope that those 5 are real winners. And
you better hope you got the winner on your team.
And Michi.
All right, so Jake, man, you are at 185 for the season.
good.
I am at.
You're still increasing though. You had 170.
That's like, all right, so I've been
15.
watching my 600-pound life. That's like when Dr. Now says you need to lose 60 pounds in 2 months, and they come back having lost 5.
Yeah.
It's progress.
So yeah, you got 185. I'm in second still with 380. So you're almost 200 behind the second place.
Wonderful.
And Hannah's still in the lead with 410. But I'm gaining on her. If Jay didn't give me negative 60, I probably would have surpassed her.
Yeah.
But I think that's the biggest negative we've had is negative 60. And then Leroy might be the biggest overall because he got 90.
Yeah, that's a lot.
So, because we haven't had anyone win a daily and then choose to go in and get their own stuff. And so, yeah, again, it's close. I got to go finish these, just correct all this stuff. So we're all on the same page. 380, 185, and then Hannah is at 410. Again, Josh really saved her with getting in those last 2 fights because otherwise it would have not been great. So, yeah, I mean, that's basically it. Before I do all the plugs, you guys have anything else you wanna hit real quick?
No, I just hate losing.
No.
Yeah. Well, you know, I will say out of everyone, like, I wouldn't have seen your team being this bad. like you got solid competitors. They're just not doing a lot, and then a handful of them have gone home. The reason Hannah's in the lead is simply because she hasn't had anyone go home yet. I mean, that's it.
That's it.
Those are negative 25s every time you go home. And so, it is what it is. But we will be back with you next week. Again, we're having to record these on Thursdays. Wednesdays right now is not great for all of us collectively.
I keep having stuff come up.
All of us collectively. Yeah. And we just got a lot going on, and then these episodes are an hour and a half long, and then now that we've added the fantasy stuff, I cut it down even more this week. I cut it down by about another 10 minutes, so we're going to come in under an hour and a half for this one, which I'm real excited about. But follow us on Twitter, @SmashingHeads, @SmashingHeads Podcast on Facebook and Instagram, and patreon.com/SmashingHeads Podcast directly supports the show. Thank you to everyone who's joined along this season. We give everyone a shout out every time that they do that. And then other than that, we got merch, SmashingHeadsPodcast.com/store.
Buy merch, take pictures, tag us on social media because it's so fun to see it.
And if you haven't yet and you do enjoy the show, 5-star reviews on iTunes really do help. So please do that. And other than that, we will be back with you next week.
Have a good night, everyone.